So what makes a piece considered monochromatic? Well, we just learned about tints, tones, and shades, and a monochromatic color scheme consists of all the tints, tones, and shades of a single hue. So for example, here we have a red hue, and this hue can then be broken down into its tints, tones, and shades when you add white, gray, and black. So if we opened up our color picker here, and we eyedropper tool selected red, this square containing all the different levels of brightness and saturation would consist of the monochromatic spectrum of this red hue. Now the hue slider bar on the right needs to stay the same. So if you don't adjust the hue slider bar at all and only choose colors in the brightness and saturation range of a single hue, you are then working with a monochromatic color scheme. So if you wanted to do a painting with a monochromatic scheme, you could screenshot the color picker and use that as your palette for your piece. So in this example painting, this is a monochromatic color scheme of this specific hue of red. And when we color pick this image in the color picker, you will see where the tints, tones, and shades lie, but the hue remains the same. So on his eyes, we can see that white has been mixed in. And you can see that on the color picker because it's in between white and red. And then on his face, we can see gray has been mixed in, but the hue still remains the same. And then if you go to the edge of the face or on his hair, you'll be able to see that it looks like black has been mixed in, but once again, the hue remains the same. And if you're wondering why would an artist paint in a monochromatic color scheme, like what's the benefit? Well, it forces you to focus on the contrast and it creates a cohesive result when limited to only using a single hue. And having a greater sense of value and contrast in your piece will only benefit the overall look in the end result. So then what about pencil drawings and paintings that don't use color? Would that still be considered monochromatic? Well, no. If no hue is included, then the color scheme would be considered grayscale and only has a range from white to black, usually with a lot of different grays mixed in to create the values. So here we have an example, and when we color pick the same way we were doing before, you may notice that the only thing that is changing is on the very left edge here, and that's because there is no saturation or hue whatsoever, and the only ranging variable is how much brightness is added, and that's what makes it grayscale.